Francie, we can hear you and we are on air. Today is Wednesday, March the 22nd, 2023. This is a Pitkin County Board of County Commissioners regular meeting. I am in the office with staff and I'm opening the meeting up and turning it over to Francie, who is zooming in, and to Steve, who is zooming in there at the housing symposium at the Aspen Meadows. So Francie, I'm turning it over to you.
Actually, Patty, just run the meeting today, will you?
Sure, no problem.
Because it's
yeah.
a little complicated in here, so.
All right, I will do it quickly. Are there any additions or deletions to our agenda?
I do not have any.
Nope. Okay. Do we have public comment? Are there any members of the public? Hi, Greg. Wishing to comment on this item on our agenda? I mean, on any items that are not on our agenda. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment, bring it back for commissioner comments. Commissioners, was there anybody who would like to make a comment? Steve, do you want to say anything?
Yes. Say a little bit about the housing summit. It is really a terrific program. There's lots and lots of people here. Many came with really bad road conditions to get, but we're learning a lot. It's really good. Thank you.
Okay, great. Greg, how you feeling, buddy?
So, but I'm going to follow along as best I can today.
Okay, nice to see you. And we don't have Kelly with us. Francie, did you want to make any comments once you get situated there?
Sorry, we have some older people in that room that are quite loud, so I couldn't hear anything. I have no comments.
Okay, I just want to, we've had a lot of tragic deaths in our community lately. And one was the passing of Marion Melville, who was 93, was home with family and friends. An amazing woman. I had no idea all of her background. She was an incredible, smiling face always, and a joy to see. Anywhere you ever saw her, it was always Marion Melville with that big bright smile. So she will be missed, but she lived an amazing life. And then we did have the tragedies in the backcountry this last week with avalanches. The board did discuss them yesterday, and we're just reminding people, regardless of what you hear or read, use your heads and think about going in the backcountry. We have severe avalanche conditions that may or may not be apparent to some, but get triggered by skiers or animals or anything for that matter. So please think about the people that might have to come in and rescue you when you decide to go in the backcountry and ski. We're getting a lot more snow today. I've heard the roads have been very slippery, so please also drive safely, and pedestrians walk safely because it's pretty slippery out there. So I'm going to bring it back to the meeting. We have on our first item is a consent item, single reading. It's the Secure Transportation Services License with Citadel Security USA. And we have Phyllis here. And I don't know, are you here by your lonesome?
I'm here. Gabe might be on Zoom. I'm not sure. It'd be Gabe Muthing. Nope. Okay.
So it's all
me.
yours.
We were contacted by Citadel Security USA regarding the secure transportation license for them in Pitkin County. That's a service for providing transportation for behavioral health individuals. The Aspen Valley Hospital has a contract with them, but they hadn't been licensed. The new process went into place January 1st. We did our process at the beginning of January. We do allow for reciprocal licensing. They are licensed in Garfield County and went through the whole process there. Gabe and I looked at it, and since it was by a Colorado, the CRR, I always remember, Code of Colorado Regulations, established the requirements for licensing, and since every county has the same requirements, we thought reciprocating was the best way to do it. But we wanted to issue a license, so this is a new process we were creating as we go for them based on the Garfield County license. Garfield County is aware of it. Citadel's aware that it's going to be linked to Garfield County, so it runs the exact same term as them.
Perfect. Perfect. Does the board have any comments? I don't see, I don't see the full screens. I need to see.
I do not have any comments, but it looks like you've done a great job making this work, Phyllis.
Yeah, we thank Phyllis and Gabe for doing that. And it's a single read, there's no public comment, but there are sitting members of the public, I don't see any, I would open it up, but, we don't have any. So I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Steve or Greg, I need a second.
Second it.
Okay. Any other comments from the board? Yeah, because I need to, there we go. I need to see Steve too. It would be great to, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Motion passes 4-0. Kelly is absent. I'm going to see what I can pull up here too. Okay, so the next item on our agenda is a individual consideration item, first reading. It's a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners replacing resolution number 034-2018 to adopt an updated hazard mitigation plan. And we have Valerie McDonald here. Hi, Valerie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Valerie McDonald. I'm the Picken County Emergency Manager. And as you have all heard me say before, the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000 requires Picken County, all counties, to have a FEMA-approved hazard mitigation plan. We are required to update our plan every 5 years, so this replaces our plan from 2018. We have been in the process of updating our HMP for the hazard mitigation plan for the last 2 years. Participating jurisdictions include the county, BOCC, City of Aspen, Snowmass Village, Roaring Fork Fire, and Aspen Fire Department. I estimate that about 500 hours have been spent across all those jurisdictions on participation. And that is the type of participation, the level of participation that's required to get these plans approved through FEMA. And I'm just going to say it because I know someone is thinking it, but I'm going to quote Dwight Eisenhower: plans are worthless, but planning is everything. And we all resist doing these big plans, but there is value in bringing these big multi-jurisdictional, multidisciplinary discipline groups together and talk about what the threats are in Picken County and hear and see from everybody else's different lens. It really collectively elevates the awareness and preparedness level of all these different jurisdictions and agencies throughout the county. So there is value in it. During this planning process, the gist of it is we identify the types of hazards that threaten our community, evaluate the risk, and then most importantly, come up with strategies to minimize our risk. This plan before you today has been through a very rigorous review process by all 6 participating jurisdictions: DHSEM, Department of Homeland Security, Office of Emergency Management, FEMA, and the public. We just finally received FEMA approval on March 10th, so I'm right up against deadline, even though we started about 2.5 years ago. I think it's worth it to take it takes 1 minute, I timed it because I know we have time constraints here, 1 minute to read the goals of this group that were developed by this group, and so everything we did was through this lens, and I'm a really quick reader. Reduce the potential for impacts on human life and safety, property loss, damage to critical facilities and the natural environment by nature and natural and human-caused hazards. 2, increase the public's awareness of our hazard vulnerabilities and promote hazard mitigation activities by residents. 3, increase Picken County's resiliency to hazards by integrating mitigation into all planning initiatives to enable faster recovery from disasters. 4, recognizing the common issues and mutual goals of hazard mitigation and climate adaptation. Promote collaborative planning and identify opportunities to dovetail actions that reduce risks from both natural hazards and climate warming. And the last one, promote equity by ensuring vulnerable populations and underserved communities are included in mitigation planning and activities. Not surprisingly, and as we all know, across all participating jurisdictions, wildfire is our #1 natural hazard risk, followed by drought, geologic hazards, and flooding. Other hazards that we discussed were avalanches, contagious disease, cyber attack, dam inundation, ice jam releases, lightning and winter storms. And I know we have historically been so fortunate in this valley, but again, we want to get the word out that there's no reason to believe that we are immune, and anything we hear about that's happening across the country, across the world, couldn't happen here. So we do plan and train continuously. The process never ends. And I do want to wait that even though FEMA requires this formal planning process every 5 years, we don't wait to talk about this every 5 years. This is an ongoing daily occurrence for many of us. And I'm going to stop there and see if you have any questions.
Any questions from the board? This is a first reading. Will be coming back to us on the 11th, is that right? Of April?
Yes.
As we know, Valerie does an amazing job. She works extremely hard, all by her lonesome, except for the 500 other people she has to communicate with when she does plans. So this is the way we get you socialized, Valerie.
They
In
are
your
very-
calm demeanor.
They are very tired of me at this point.
But they love you dearly.
Very much, Valerie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so I need a motion to approve this on first reading and set for second reading, public hearing on the 11th of April.
So moved.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor, please
Thanks,
signify
Valerie.
by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thanks, Valerie.
Thank you.
Good job. All right, next item on our agenda, our first readings, public hearing, second readings, public hearing. This is an ordinance accepting development covenants. Oh, Suzanne is here to do this. This is for the development covenants, and we do this on an annual basis now, rather than one by one. And the first question, as always, were there any changes?
No changes.
Thank you. So the floor is yours.
As you said, we do this once a year to adopt covenants. The list of covenants is attached. I can't remember. 22. I put the number down last time. That was good. That we signed off on last year. And then basically this is the board's acceptance of all of those covenants based on the ordinance you adopted in 2017 to streamline the process.
Does the board have any questions or comments before I open the public hearing? Seeing none, this is a public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to comment on this item, which is our covenants approval? Please raise your hand. I don't see anyone in the room. I don't believe we have anybody online. Nope. So I'm going to bring it back to the board for a motion. I'm going to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Thank you, Francie.
I'll second motion.
Thank you, Steve. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Aye.
passes
Aye.
4-0. Thank you, Suzanne. This makes it a much simpler process. The next one is a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners approving first quarter budget supplemental request. We have Connie Baker online with us. Hi, Connie. And
Good
no
afternoon.
no changes from first reading?
There are no changes.
Okay.
A number of supplemental requests from the general fund. There's a 3-month overlap for the clerk to the board position, a BOCC contribution to a wildfire camera detection system, in emergency management, a community wildfire protection plan update. And then in the capital fund, courthouse heating and cooling upgrades, and the jail safety renovation phase 2. In the Human Services Fund, an increase to the cost of the Senior Center office renovation. In the Healthy Rivers and Streams Fund, a contribution to the town of Carbondale for the Crystal River Restoration Project. Then in the Road and Bridge Fund, the 2023 paving projects, there is an increase in cost, and that's for Owl Creek Road and Woody Creek Road. The Public Health Fund has a request for a 2.5-year term-limited position, a health promotion coordinator that is fully funded by grants. In the Solid Waste Center, a new ongoing position. It is an equipment operator that is replacing one equipment operator that moved into scale house operations. And then in the library fund, an owner's representative for the Snowmass Village Library Station feasibility and design studies. All of these requests total come to $3.34 million, offset by $300,000 in revenue, for a total adjustment to budget of $3.04 million. Does the board have any questions? Staff were with the board on March 7th to go through all of these in detail, so hopefully the board is still familiar with all of these projects.
Yes, I am familiar with them. Is it okay if I go ahead and talk for a minute?
Yeah, I'm gonna open the public hearing real quick. I don't see Steve, I don't see any hands up, so this is a public hearing. Are there any members of the public in the room or online wishing to comment? Seeing none, I'm gonna close the public hearing and bring it back to the board, hopefully for a motion.
I just wanted to make a comment.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Francie.
I just wanted to say that we had a really great site visit at the Riverfront Park in Barbadale. And I am gonna vote in favor of that for sure, but it is still distressing to me that Garfield County is not participating and that we're playing such a big role in that. I mean, definitely it's part of our watershed. The Crystal River flows a long way through Pickett, but just wanted to put it on the record that it is disturbing to me that we're paying such a large percentage of that.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Francie. And just of note is that if for any reason, which would be nice, they come in under budget, the monies that are left over will come back to can defer some of the monies Pickett County put into the project. And I'm glad I talked with Francie about the site visit. She said it was pretty incredible. We want to thank the Doherty family next door for allowing access through their property, which will maintain some will prevent some disturbance of the riverbank between the start and the finish of this project. So I think that's great. I'm very familiar with that section of the river since both of my kids lived there for a few years, so spent a lot of time on that part of the Crystal. It's beautiful. So any other comments from the board, or can I entertain a motion to approve?
So moved. I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. And I did close the public hearing, so I'm gonna call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
4-0. Thank you, Connie.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners accepting a trail license with Pyramid Ranch LLC. This is an open space and trails issue. It's been requested to be continued to April 11th, 2023. So I am going to bring it to the board for a motion to continue this. I'm going to open the public hearing. Steve, 1 second. Let me open the public hearing. Seeing no one in the room, I'm going to continue the public hearing. Steve, please, you had your hand up.
I'd like to make a motion to continue this till April 11th.
Thank you.
I'll second that. I would like a little bit of an explanation why, if anybody's in the room who can do that.
I have no one in the room. I'm going to say because it's snowing outside. That's all I can think of, Greg. I have a feeling they're just waiting maybe for some survey data or more information as to the alignment. But I'll see if we can't get Gary to get back to you, okay?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it just seemed like it seemed like it was ready to go, so I'm just wondering why.
Yeah.
But, anyway, my motion stands. Thanks.
And I had a second?
I think Steve seconded.
Steve, okay. Or Steve made a motion and Greg seconded. So I'm going to call the question.
I made the motion.
Yeah, Steve made the motion, Greg seconded. I'm going to call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All right, and this is open discussion. Does the board have any open discussion at this time? Greg, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to think back to the last thing we discussed last night was just regarding the avalanches and the vexing and kind of puzzling designation of moderate avalanche danger by the CAIC, Colorado Avalanche Information Center. And what was fun is just after our meeting, Francie got in her car, turned on the radio, and heard a very well done story by KJAX Eleanor Bennett and Kaya Williams and Hallie Zander did a great story on that very question. And it was really valuable. I suggest anybody listen to that, because it talks about how they designate avalanches. When they talk about it being low level or moderate level or extreme level, all they're talking about is what it might take to trigger an avalanche in, I'm going to call it an average circumstance. But if there are any variability to that average, things are pretty hard to predict. So a moderate avalanche will still have lethal consequences, as we have seen. It turns out, I don't believe that avalanche even ran all the way to the valley floor, but still it was huge and it was lethal. I still think there's there's room for some better etymology and understanding of the context of the word moderate when they discuss an avalanche, because some people might be given false confidence. Anyway, just thought I'd put that in there, because with the story that Aspen Public Radio did was thorough and so well reported, and they answered our questions immediately after the meeting, and I was so proud of them for that. Thanks.
Yeah, Greg, yeah.
Crazily coincidental.
Francie let me know that she had heard it too, so it's just, it's a running theme, that's for sure, especially looking at it now, it's dumping snow here again, so. All right, any other comments from the board? Staff, do we have any open discussion? No. Steve, please. The bearded man from the north.
Thank you. I'm actually sitting in our place where we had our retreat at the Aspen Institute property. There was a car upside down on Lower Snowmass Creek Road this morning. There was a car upside down on Capitol Creek Road several days ago. The road conditions right now with these spring, warmer temperatures and spring snow that's very wet and slippery is treacherous. And I just I hope members of the public might be listening to this at this point, but everybody should use extreme caution when driving and slow down. There was a report by CDOT about the cause of accidents in Glenwood Canyon, and the three leading causes, number one was excessive speed. It's the number one cause of the accident there. Another one of the three is following too closely. And then the third one, Glenwood Canyon, is the semi-trucks are required to stay in the right lane, but oftentimes they get impatient and pass in the left lane, which they are not legally allowed to do there. They get impatient, drive too fast, and I think that's probably the cause of most people's accidents around here in the valley. So please be patient, study a little bit of Zen and calm down and slow down, and I think everybody will be safer and happier in the long run. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I'm heading to Silverthorne right after this, and I'm going to take my sweet time. Francie, please.
Yeah, Patty, I just wanted to thank you for running the meeting. This is a really interesting housing summit, and do drive carefully, but eastbound I-70 was closed just a short while ago.
Yeah, I think it reopened, but I'm gonna check with the CoPrig, what is it called? CoTrip, before I go, and 511, so. And if I get to Glenwood Springs, I've always got grandbabies to entertain, so I might be spending some time there. So you guys enjoy them. Thank you for being at the Housing Summit. Greg, I hope you feel better, and I'll talk to you guys later. I do need a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Patty.
Thanks, Fran. Anytime.
Alrighty. Take care.